What's up, y'all? It's Wholesome, and I'm so excited to bring y'all this awesome deck. But before we get started, make sure to stay tuned in until the end, because I have a special surprise for y'all. This is one of the new expansion cards that really just tried to push a specific type of archetype, and it's restricted to these three colors. And basically this card is, if you control more minions than your opponent, your minions get +1/+1. So we're going to be trying to make a tokens deck with it. What we're going to be trying to do is use all of the tokens that we can find within all three of these colors. Some of them don't actually have good token generating minions, but they do have cheap minions that can really make use of this buff and just swarm the board for us. Just hard to deal with minions. So we're definitely going to be playing 2 Effigy, which is an awesome token cantrip that it'll start just getting buffed by the Triforge Alliance. And we're going to be running Dopers, which are hard to deal with minions, 2 Axolotls, Eager Recruits obviously, and then we're going to be running Thunderbird Egg because it's just an insane card, also very hard to deal with, which is going to pair really nice with Circle Protection. We're going to be able to keep all these cheap minions pretty healthy. And then War Documentarian, which is a great body and is going to be just giving us the ability to bring back Triforge Alliance, bring back an Academy recruitment, bring back pretty much whatever we need when we need it, right? Bring back our Plague Maidens. Then we're going to be running 2 Beacon Banner. I was running 4, and I just ended up, it kind of ended up being a dead draw at some point. So I cut it down to 2, and I'm running 2 Danger Zone. So Beacon Banner gives you the buff at the end of the turn, while Danger Zone, you can just slap it down for lethal straight away for 6 damage. We're also going to be running 2 Conviction, which is going to help us push extra damage or get rid of some kind of sticky minion that's in our way. It's also great for lethal. We're going to be running Home Field Advantage to buff our adjacent tokens, most notably our Academy recruitment, and we're going to be running Plague Maidens as a finisher, as well as Black Cadejo. These 2 as a finisher, you guys will see in the video. It is just sick. And 1 Vicious Cycle, just in case they have something that is in our way and we can't deal with. All right, let's hop into some games. We still have our circle protection, so we're in a pretty good spot. And then we do have our Cadejo for our finisher, late game finisher, if they manage to deal with, set up a bunch of blockers. So they have pretty nice hand, lots of minion developing rebels. So they played a Shopworn Bull, which is going to be pretty bad for our egg. Especially because, yeah, they're going to play a Vengeful Heirloom and just take it out right away. But you know what? It did its job. Ooh, and they also have a Rye Trickster, which is going to be an issue. So right here, I'm thinking, okay, I can deal with the Bull with Conviction. I'm going to go ahead and swing with Doper because I didn't think that they actually used the Trickster ability on it. But as soon as I noticed that they did, all right, Conviction, trade in here, and play the Mantle. They're coming up on 3 red, 5 mana, so I didn't want to play into the Magmatar here. I wanted to play this far away instead of on the enchantment right here. But yeah, they didn't have it either way. and I'm just gonna, you know, make these trades and get value. We draw into a burnt doper. That's totally fine. I'm gonna play it on the enchantment. I'm playing back into Magmatar heavy now because I know they didn't have it, and we're just pushing damage. I moved this guy over so he can trade with the focus, right? And then they play buff Jaza off of Coliseum and an Agitator. So we just top decked Plague Maidens, and this is gonna be lethal right here. We've got the Kadeho online, we've got the Plague Maidens. We take out the 2/1, double trade into this, and Plague Maidens for the last hit. Whew. That was a wild ride. I freaking love this deck, y'all. Alright, next we are up against YG Fires of Creation. Alright, it's time to test the deck against control. Let's see what we can do. We have a pretty good starting hand, and we drew into Triforge Alliance. Sweet. We've got 2 Thunderbird eggs, and they shouldn't have a way to interact with these early. They could possibly have Quetzal or Set Bursuck if they're playing that variant, but it doesn't look like it. They just play a Samosek, and so I'm like, yeah, this is totally fine. We can just keep developing, and no reason to swing into this just yet. As soon as our Thunderbird egg hatches, we're gonna be in a really good spot to kill off the Samosek with it. But they go ahead and cover it with another artifact and start developing. So my best bet here is just play the Triforge Alliance and create a token, and then not swing or do anything with these and just start getting the buffs, so Samosek isn't going to do much. Oh yeah, and then how they play the Maidens, which is going to take out our Eager Recruit and get everything else pretty low, but we go ahead and transform here, which is going to finish off the Samosek, and there, that one of Vicious Cycle just coming in clutch. I don't care what they draw, as long as it's not another Plague Maidens. And we go ahead and just swing in here, and they're already on 4 HP, and we're getting board-wide buffs. Yeah, and they call it quits there. There's nothing they can do. I don't even think they had enough mana or gems for Misanthropia if they drew into it. But either way, we were in a great spot. Alright, now we're up against Mono Blue Valks, which can be kind of troublesome. Luckily, they didn't have their 1-drop, which is only a 4 of. So we're going to go ahead and play. We're on the draw, we get the mantle. We play our egg and our mantle next to each other. We're going to see them play a tough here, and that's an issue, a 3/3 body. So we go ahead and just play that turn 2 circle protection again. And hopefully when this transforms, I swing here, because when this transforms, it's going to do the 2 damage. Maybe I shouldn't have swung, and they might have swung at that, but I want the transform to kill that off. And they go ahead and play a sidecar, which it can be an issue, especially if they just come down with a car here. And they don't have it. They do have a Road Queen and a Black Hatter, which is just insane with freaky sidecar. They go ahead and take out our Clay Effigy, discard it from our hand. I don't need that second Documentarian. I'm just going to start emptying my hand and, you know, activating our Path Power. And I really don't want to discard again. So I'm just going to keep swarming this side of the board, and look, they're already on 9. They decided to race instead of contest this army right here. And ooh, a freaking Rush Frenzy tier, and that is pretty good. But yeah, that's about it. We have lethal on board. We have extra more than lethal. Yeah, so even Valks couldn't do anything here. And also we were scared of Thunderclap, right? So luckily we had our circles of protection. All right, next up we're against a BP list, which is pretty aggressive. and we do not have a great starting hand. We drew too many of our 3-drops, and this is actually when I was testing more beacon banners and Perennial Patrol, which is just too slow. I think you want to go a little more aggressive, and if you're just playing a Perennial Patrol on 5, that's going to be a little too late. They unfortunately have the Racer, and we didn't have a 1-drop. We were just missing that yellow. So we go ahead and, you know, have to play a 1-drop turn 2. And I want them to trade here, or at least, you know, like, it's not, they end up having Knives in the dark, and that is just rough. And they're just increasing the cost of, you know, everything in my hand. We just had a really bad starting hand, and this is not looking good. So I'm thinking, all right, they're not doing much damage to us. They're not threatening us that much. Let's at least try and get some value going, right? So if we can develop our side of the board and possibly race them, since we have beacon banners, we have home field advantage, right? Unfortunately, look, they go and they hit the home field advantage again. So we're definitely not playing that this turn. We're just going to go ahead and try and block with our Kadeho and race them. Maybe it was the right call to just play the beacon banner. But they go ahead and make this a 7 cost with Mind Freak, which is just insane. And go ahead and take out, you know, more of our academy recruits and our cadets. And yeah, luckily I draw into another one, but we're already, you know, on the serious back foot here. And yeah, this is not looking good, and they top deck into a speedway. Yeah, this is really rough when you just have 1/1 tokens, and we didn't get any value out of beacon banner. We didn't get any value out of home field advantage. Drew circle protection a little too late, and everything else in our hand is just like, you know, way too expensive to play. And we can't burn green, by the way. That's also what that does, is that's why we ended up having to burn 3 orange, which we don't normally do with this deck. But yeah, you know, that's just game right there. There's nothing we can do. We did get them down to 10 HP, but little too late. I think we definitely misplayed that, and we should have played beacon banners. It might have only lasted 1 turn because of the durability on it, possibly 2, but yeah, that was just really unfortunate. And that can be a weakness of this deck if, you know, they kind of deal with your threats, or you get a bad starting hand and they just, you know, start racing you and you're already on the back foot. It's a little hard to regain tempo there. So thanks for watching this far. And as many of you know, Rhino Games has their entire core set they're giving away for a limited time. Your next code is going to be Wholesome Harmony, and that's cap sensitive, so make sure you type that in correctly. And this will unlock the entire purple or Harmony faction.